I was a high volume practitioner. I was giving and loving and serving out of abundance, and I created everything that I wanted. And I got married and had kids, and I found like I wasn't at home enough with my kids, so I retired, at a young age because I was so financially successful. And one of our dreams was to go to a wilderness home in British Columbia. So I retired, and we moved to Canada to a beautiful wilderness home. Remember, your posture and your breath is in control. So I want to see you breathing through the next slide, okay? In 2012, and I'll try to breathe while you guys are breathing through this, we had two beautiful homes in British Columbia, Canada, and it's a gorgeous place. Those are the homes that are on the left-hand side, and there was a mudslide. And, oh, you know what? I must have been, it's 2012, not 2102. I just caught that. You know how many times I check these slides? Isn't that amazing? Mudslide came, took a beeline from my house. The first house went down the mountain, and then the second house that we built just twisted and turned and then got covered. And Diana, Catherine, and Rachel Weber were buried and died instantaneously. They suffocated. I didn't think they suffocated right away because I was told they had dogs. I wasn't there. I tried to get there. We were having a reunion on that weekend. My dog got sick. I was in Florida and I couldn't get back. So obviously it was my mission to talk about this or something else. I'm keeping it together. As far as this is, probably the second time that I brought these slides up and spoke to people about them, because it still is very difficult. But what I wanted to bring out to you today is that chiropractic, acupuncture, anything that's, healing and working with the electrical system of the body can prevent post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'm standing up here as proof. I mean, you know how many times people ask me, how do you get up in the morning? Like, why are you so strong? How do you do it? And I just feel that it's because of chiropractic. And I have a mission of educating people. I want the world to know what we have. And I really feel we need to start talking about it differently. That's why I, started Chiro Chi. I trade named Chiro Chi, which is just people finding out that we are the Chi in chiropractic, the life flow, the central nervous system doctors. And with post-traumatic stress disorder, I need you to know while you're breathing right now that I feel closer to these people with them out of their body than I did when they were in their body. So breathe through this right now, because eternal love does not die. The human body does, but the spirit and love does not. And I am more filled with love. I'm happier, healthier, and probably more at peace than I've ever been in my whole life. And there's a couple of reasons for this that we'll go over besides chiropractic, but you need to know that on my bad times, on my bad days, because I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that I don't have sobbing moments and crying and, but I do it a little differently than most people, because 30 years ago I became a breath coach and a breath worker, and actually one of my close friends here who is another rebirther. They were called rebirthers in the 80s. That name has been changed. You probably heard deep energy breath work, connective cyclic breath work. It's a technique where you are fully breathing and your breastbone, like I put you in this posture right now, it's where your lungs have total room to breathe. You breathe right up into the top of the lungs, so the breastbone is expanding this way and that way with the mouth open. So you don't stop the breath at all, no matter what emotion is going on. So I was trained in this for, over 25 years. So of course I had the tools of tremendous stress reduction. When you lay down and breathe, You think of a runner, or people exercising, and they're pumping their breath. It's all being used up in the body. When you lay horizontal, and you're still, and you're pumping this breath, the oxygen is going to every cell. To this day, I don't know anything else, right, Bob, Dr. Bob, that can help and heal every single cell in the body, plus come away with being so relaxed afterwards and regenerated and happy. And what we've done, when we go into the anatomy of the vagus nerve, is that we have helped the vagus nerve do what it needs to do. The vagus nerve, which we're going to go over in charts, has got to come out. It comes, it's inside the brain, but it comes out through the jugular foramen, and then it's between the occiput, right behind the ears, right where the jaw is. So the greatest thing about the rebirthing breath, or I call it the breath of life now, is that your mouth is open. So your patients, besides having their heads twisted and down and pinching their vagus nerve, they're getting like stressful information, or on the phone, and they're, like that. My hands now, I'm spending so much time on people's heads and occipits, and George is holding them back here. Because when you start to compare the left and right jaw and the left or right occiput, start to put your hands behind people's ears and start to hold that cranium, you'll realize it's all being twisted so much from stress. So the breath work is something that I do, I'm a chiropractor. So let's say I'm crying, missing them, on the couch, and the bump on the couch is hurting my neck, because I'm having the wrong posture, the wrong crying posture, and then I'm sobbing. It's all contraction. So it's like in the middle of the sobbing, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm feeling emotional pain and giving myself physical pain? So, only a chiropractor would think about this. No, I'm going to go lay down. I'm going to put a towel behind my neck so that my neck is clear, so that I can cry and feel, but not hurt myself at the same time. See, our society is against feeling. We have a lot of people, and I forgot what they said the statistic was this morning. They said it, but they're like 1 out of every 5 teenager is under drugs, mental drugs. So if someone's crying too much, and I went to a medical doctor, they would give me something to stop crying, right? If I was fearful and anxious all the time, they would give me another pill to do that. So the way I go through my feelings is with this breath work. So I lay down, I put a towel behind my neck so I'm clear, I unclench my jaw. I'd like you to experience this right now. If you put one hand on your upper chest and one hand on your stomach, it's not belly breathing. With all this yoga, and we're going to talk a little bit about the yoga breaths, people are only doing belly breathing. They're like taught to concentrate, drop the diaphragm, blow up the belly, and they don't expand the whole lung. With the rebirthing breath, you're going right there. So if one hand is on the upper chest and the other hand is on the stomach, right now concentrate. Trust me, your diaphragm knows what to do. You don't have to concentrate on the diaphragm. Just fill up the lungs, bring it right up to the collarbone, and then you relax on the expiration. So you're sucking in, and then out on expiration. That's the rebirthing breath. That's a deep energy, connective breath with the mouth open, so you can't clench. When I get up from one of these sobbing, crying, breathing sessions that I do maybe twice a week, and sometimes in a group or sometimes with a breath buddy, I'm ready to take on the world. I've done my work. I've given myself time to feel, which is what people don't do. And something you should know about someone that's gone through sudden multiple death, like a vet or anybody that's been traumatized, or, you guys have lost people in your lives. The worst thing to do if they're out in public is to come over. I'm so sorry for your loss. I hated that because I really felt my grief, allowed myself to feel, and then people, they like to hug you and then they cry on you. So you got your grief, then you got their grief, and you really have to be sensitive to people that have gone through loss, because if they're out in public, maybe they don't want to talk about it. So we used to have a sign in the office after I came back, was that if you're going to hug Dr. Lynn, you have to smile. That's it. You know, don't come after me with sorry eyes, because I've already done that this morning. I don't leave the house till I make sure that I'm totally clear. So I've always gotten up at 4:30 in the morning to pray, to meditate, to write, to walk, exercise. I take 3 hours before seeing patients before this happened. But now more than ever, so that I could be strong for other people.